Hey Insiders, we've got a very special guest joining us here today who's recently gone through our flagship course LMA again, has just recently graduated again, and she's going to be coming on here today to share her story, honestly, how she's found the whole experience from start to finish and everything else in between. So if you wouldn't mind just starting off and just telling everybody what's your name and where it is that you're currently based.
Okay, thank you so much, Liam. I am so excited to be here. My my name is Joanne, or Joyful Jubilant Jody, and I am in Ontario, Canada.
Beautiful.
And
It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Pleasure to be
thank you.
connected. I'm loving your recommitted background. And Joanne, just diving right into it, I'm just curious to know, what would you say was your biggest struggle or challenge that you were facing in your life prior to joining the LMA program?
Oh, Liam, I honestly I have so much, but I wrote tons of notes before I started, and I just didn't even know where to begin. But to just stay focused on the biggest challenge at that particular moment in time, because I'd been searching for a lot of different things, and after my job abruptly ended in 2018, and the reason why, and all of the stuff with my son's mental health and what was going on at that exact time when I joined. He had come home from a group home situation that was quite traumatic experiences for him, and I had never seen his behavior to the point that it had gotten, it was completely out of control with anger. And I honestly was at a point where I just didn't know what to do or how I was going to be able to cope with all of it.
Mm.
So starting with the LMA and joining the LMA family and sharing some of that journey, eventually sharing most of the journey, not right away, just getting used to the process. I can't even tell you how massively it had transformed not just me, but my son in the process. Because once I learned how to put my own oxygen mask on, and I was able to help him in the ways that it's almost like it's miraculous, to be honest with you. I can't really put it into adequate words. As it unfolded, I've learned the strategies to become completely untriggerable, to be able to manage my own reactions, and to realize what he was going through and not take any of it personally, to be able to really go to the root of what was going on, where all of the mental health professionals and everything that was involved in our lives were not getting to.
Wow.
Literally, they did not know what was going on with him. They just wanted to medicate and not deal with it. So it was all.
How was that affecting you, Joanne? Like, before finding LMA, how were you coping with this? Like, and how was that having a toll on your life?
I honestly, when I look at it, I thought, I'd been doing self-development since my teen years. As a survivor in my teens of suicide, I had been somebody that always sought answers. And one of my big go-tos was Wayne Dyer for many years, listening to him on repeat and on audio in the car, and which is tremendous help. But like Tim always says, the action and listening and reading is not the doing, and that was a huge portion that was missing from my life, that LMA teaches you, not just knowing but taking the action. So for me, I wasn't in a good place. I was often numbing out, drinking too much, distractions, binge watching Netflix, and just a lot of avoidance, distracting behaviors, and not knowing, like looking outside and begging people for help, for answers, and coming back with like the most soul crushing responses that there's no help out there and what you want doesn't exist, and all of that. It took me a lot to finally get the smack in the face to
Right.
say, it's all on you. And it really was. I really had to figure this out. And in order to do that, LMA saved my life. And I have to say that because we were going on a bad track, and even for my son, it in effect saved his too, because what they were doing in the system was not okay. Like they wanted to put him out in the streets instead of giving him help. That's how bad it got. I was terrified with what could happen. But because of LMA and because of the strategies and the tools, I was able to turn a lot of that around. I mean, it's still not perfect,
Yeah.
but the transformation in myself and in him it's really like night and day.
Wow. And obviously, Joanne, whilst you were in that point in your life where it was a little bit dark and you were like suppressing things and avoiding things, before you made that commitment to LMA and stepping forward on this journey, did you have any hesitance or resistance to joining the program? Was there any barriers that was holding you back that might have stopped you from joining? And if so, how did you put them to one side and just make that commitment and step forward?
Well, that's a good question, because at that time I had been looking for so many answers. And like I said, 2018, the abrupt end of my career of over 25 years as an educational assistant for unconscionable reasons that, I won't get into all of that. But I was really looking for what's next and what's going to help me, because I've always been that seeker of, how like this is so traumatic to me. I had nobody to really talk to about this. I mean, counseling didn't really do anything. And so I looked online for different things, and I've done different gurus and the, different programs, but I didn't finish them. And I was just still like aimlessly dabbling and scrolling, and I came across Tim's video and the about LMA. I had no hesitation. I was just signing up to everything at that point. And honestly, I even forgot that I signed up because I had so many things that I had signed up to. And I got a call from him on a voicemail saying, you forgot to get your bonuses or whatever, and we're literally starting this week. And I was like, that snapped me to attention, because I did not get any calls from any of these other programs that I had signed up for. There was no personal touch like that.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. And it was his voice, right? It was like, it's the real guy. It's not just somebody calling on his behalf. It's really him. This is serious. I am on this. And from then on in, I was like fully committed in doing whatever it took to, because that just, to me, when somebody cares that much to make a personal call to you, that changed everything, that connection.
And what was it about LMA? Like, what surprised you the most or made you the most happiest about the experience that you had in the LMA program, Joanne?
Well, for me, it was really digging deep within who I am and all of those limiting old past beliefs of who I'm not, and having the ability to dream again, that I'm worthy of these dreams, and to believe in myself, and to want to be the difference that I can make in the world, to actually come from that dark place to actually in a very short period of time, and to really feel the love in that community, and the love that Tim gives, and the amount of generosity from his heart. I can't, there's really nothing like it.
Mm.
I've never seen anything like it. It's just unbelievable.
How much of an impact did the community have on your journey in LMA? The people that you've met, or the people that you've
Oh,
with?
the community, they're family, right? They're literally family. Like, it's just, I can't even describe it in adequately in words, the whole experience, and the family that's there, and the heart. Everybody's going through the same thing, and everybody's so honest and open that we know we all struggle. It's just that the amount of caring and love that you get, and the support that you get while you're going through it, and nobody's judging. You can be free to be yourself. It's safe to be who you actually are and not hide anymore. And that is, there's no there's no feeling greater than being accepted for who you are. All the messes and the troubles and the challenges and all of the things that you are, and be loved anyway.
Yeah. Obviously, you shared there like once on this call already that LMA like saved your life, and it's so beautiful to hear that. And thank you so much for coming on here and sharing that. And I'm just curious to know, what would you say is one of the biggest shifts that has happened for you in your life that you have gained from LMA? Like, how do you see the world differently now compared to before this program as to the way you do now?
Oh, wow. Just everything. There's just, but if I say one thing, it's that I'm not numbing things out anymore. I'm facing things head on,
Yeah.
no matter how uncomfortable they are, or how hard it is to just show up anyway, show up badly if you have to, just show up and keep showing up, and stop hiding and numbing out with alcohol or distractions, and just sit with the hard emotions and acknowledge them and honor them. And that truly is the biggest strength and relief. And it's not easy, but it's worth it.
Wow. And what advice would you give to someone who is thinking of joining this program? So, like, they want to change their life, they've seen LMA, they really want to join, but they're sitting on the fence, they're a little bit like hesitant, they want to step forward in faith, but they haven't made that commitment yet. What advice would you bestow upon them after going through this experience?
Well, I can't recommend anything more stronger than I can recommend LMA. If you want to have a big transformation, not just a little bit of a transformation, if you're willing to put in the work, you will have a big transformation, because I know I did. And there is no money in the world. It's just priceless. It is totally worth it. And then some.
Wow.
Do it for yourself. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Do it now, because it will be the difference that you need.
Wow. And one final question, just to wrap it up. It's not really LMA related. I guess it's just a little bit more personal. If you had an opportunity right now to give a message to the entire world, you had the whole world listening to what Joanne was going to say. What's one bit of advice, if you had 30 seconds, that everybody in the world was able to listen to what you were going to say? What would you say to the world?
What I would say to the world is, if you want to have a big impact and make a big change, you first have to work on yourself. You have to be the change you wish to see in the world. And until you do that, you're going to be blocked. And the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. So take that leap of faith, that trust fall, and just go for it, because you're worth it. Your family's worth it, and everybody in your life, all your relationships, they're worth the best of you, and they will change because of that.